All right, here we are, guys, back for a tutorial here. And here you can see what we're working with wind-wise. I'm going to get 10.1 set in there, maybe about plus 10%, 9 rings. Now keep in mind, if you watched, some of my other tutorials, 4 to 5 topspin, you saw what I did curl-wise. I'm going to probably, in this situation, I'll probably use a very similar curl. Kind of a mid-level power. You can see that I'm using very close to full foam curl and just adding a little bit of power. Keep in mind that that grid line is kind of a nice indicator. And here you can see, just has the wind effect. If you guys watch my other version of this hole, I use that same spin and same curl, and with a wind pointed in the opposite direction, where you can see my ball's perfect right now. It went into the left rough. I almost was able to get it out of the fairway, but that just goes to show you, the difference in wind effect. So do be sure to check out that other view, and that'll really help you, start to mentally grasp all that wind effect has on tee shots, as well as approach shots, but it just gives you a nice visual seeing the two differences of the drive that winds up in the rough versus the one that's not even close to the rough. Just a really nice indicator for you to see kind of different perspectives there. So what I usually do for this shot is I'll usually add on a little bit of elevation, maybe plus 10% or so. Let's go. I don't usually play off this surface, but I sometimes do. We are going to be very close to min club here, so I'm going to pull my slider down, maybe 7.1 rings. And you'll usually see me offset this guide, but I won't do it quite as much. I do believe it likes to spring forward much more, and you can see with how I'm keeping it short of the hole as well, and just a little bit offset, and right towards about 7 rings here. Can't get my perfect ball timing with this new needle speed. Let's see how this comes in. Looks like it's a little bit too left. As I mentioned, even with as much offset as I had, it might have been too much. The way that this hole seems to work is it really, on a tailwind situation like that, it really likes to spring forward as opposed to forward and right like you would expect. This is very close to a couple tournament wins that we've had, and I usually always overcorrect my offset a little bit too much. It's usually pretty perfect rollout speed-wise, but it almost always winds up left of this hole with a similar wind. So you really aren't going to need a lot of offset here, as I'm mentioning. More so, you can keep it a little bit short. But as I mentioned, keeping it very tight and then playing that ring adjustment. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's because you're landing on kind of a side hill and you have all that backspin on there, and it just kind of bites kind of hard and bounces to the left much differently than what you see on the ball guide. But for some reason, in fact, you're seeing it here, you can see my opponent, it just rolls out towards the left. It's very consistently doing that. So if you're trying to play wind effect, and just something to consider if you get yourself in a similar situation, in a wind like that, that's kind of a tailwind, and you expect it to kind of hop a little bit right, just for some reason it doesn't. And I just want to make you aware of it. But, overall, good luck with that hole there. And I'll catch you guys on the shootout here coming up.